Hey everyone, happy Monday. I am out today live in Alexandria at this awesome restaurant, and I really thought this was going to be a cool Facebook Live video because I want to show you how I order food when I'm out. So all this stuff in front of me right now, we've ordered to eat for lunch. I'm here with my friend and we're splitting everything. Don't think I'm eating all of this by myself, okay? So throughout this, I'm just going to explain what everything is, how I pick this. I mean, this is in general a pretty healthy restaurant. So the place that I'm at is called Virtue Feed and Grain in Alexandria. And everything here, I picked this restaurant because everything is locally sourced. So everything is super fresh. It's made the day of that they get it in here. So I already knew that it was going to be a lot healthier than going to some sort of, chain restaurant, which are places that I always try to avoid. I try to look for places specifically like this. And of course, I also pre-check the menu to make sure that there were healthy options. That's already a tip right there. Like, if you're really concerned about what you want to eat and you have a specific dietary restrictions, such as me, because I eat gluten-free, I check the menu before I go out. So let's just go through this right here, okay? And if you have any questions throughout this at all about, like, what do I eat when I go out? I don't understand this or that, just post it in the comment box and I will answer it. So the first thing that we got here is a cauliflower appetizer. So this thing is like loaded up, right? But there's nothing bad in it. Everything here is sauteed in olive oil, not vegetable oil, nothing like with hydrogenated oils in it, which is something that you're gonna wanna specifically ask for when dining out. So what this has on it, it has some almonds, so that's gonna create a nice crunch to it, but it's also gonna add in protein. And then we also have some raisins in there. So raisins aren't the healthiest option. I'm gonna just be real with you about it, but they're not horrible for you. They have some sugar in it, but there's also some vitamins in there as well. A little bit of fiber too. So there's the cauliflower. It looks like banging. I'm so ready to eat this right now, but there's no unhealthy fats in it because it was just cooked in the olive oil. So then we're gonna go over to this salad, right? This salad is the bomb right here. So what it has on it, it has some quinoa underneath of there. So that's the main reason why we picked this salad, because quinoa is a protein source. It is the only grain that is a complete protein. And what that means is that you don't have to pair the quinoa with a meat or with other grains in order for you to get all the benefits from it. So that's here, that's why we picked this. It doesn't have any meat on it. And then we have these sliced radishes, so that's really cool. Everything on here is fresh. The dressing is something that you wanna really pay attention to when you're ordering salads out. So I picked this one because it has a lemon and olive oil dressing. So that's what we're going for. You're gonna go for a vinegar or like some sort of lemon, lime, or like vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and you're gonna wanna mix with olive oil as a dressing if you usually get dressings on your salads, instead of like a Caesar salad, for example. That stuff is loaded up with saturated fat. It's probably around like 20 to 30 grams of fat just in the dressing when you order a Caesar salad or any dressing that's creamy. This might be stuff you already know, but it will make a huge difference. On top, there's a little bit of cheese, but just a little bit. It's not a processed cheese, it's locally sourced, and that does contain some protein. Again, all of this I'm also splitting with someone. I'm not just gonna eat all of this, right? Also, portion control is another big part of it. So from here, now let's go to number 3. So this are these little ahi tuna tacos. So the beauty of this is that this is completely gluten-free because this is a corn tortilla, which we specifically asked for, okay? And then the ahi tuna is a great low-fat protein source with a ton of omega-3 fatty acids. So omega-3 fatty acids are really, really good for your skin, for your hair, for your overall health. So that's why we have that added in. And then on top, we just have some avocado that's in there right now. So that's the healthy fat source in this. And we have a little bit of, I believe this is maybe cilantro probably on top right there. And the only thing that's probably not the healthiest in this is the little bit of white that you see. That's a sriracha mayo. But I'm not against mayo, okay? If it's locally sourced, it doesn't have preservatives in it, which all of this was asked beforehand. So what's the theme with all of this, right? How do we order healthy when eating out at restaurants? The main thing that I look for is the food that I'm ordering needs to be locally sourced, or at least, something super fresh. If it's gonna be fried or sauteed in something, I always ask what kind of oil it is. And a lot of restaurants will give you the option to switch certain things out. So don't be afraid to ask the server what's in the food that you're eating. That's like step 1. So I specifically asked how's the stuff made? Olive oil. I was like, perfect, that's what I already want. Good. Okay, and then after that, I'm also looking, when I'm looking through the menu, if I have a certain dietary restriction. So I like to eat gluten-free, and I prefer that over like a flour tortilla because it's going to really, the way it's processed in your body, you're going to feel a lot more energized. At least I've found myself to react differently to that. I feel like I can go throughout my day with energy, and I'm not going to be wanting to take a nap right after. So I'm looking for foods that, you know, are nice and fresh and light and that are gluten-free for me for that reason. But the main thing here is that you want to pair a protein source with a carbohydrate and a healthy fat. That's going to keep you full for a long time. That's going to have a lot of fiber in it as well, so that, you know, you're going to eat lunch and you don't want to be hungry within 30 minutes. But the other thing is you also don't want to fall asleep, right? There's like this whole balance of eating for energy and fuel, but you know, so it all literally works together. So when I'm looking for things to pick out at restaurants, I'm looking for a specific item that has this really good mixture. Healthy fats include the mayo, honestly, that is one option, avocado, olive oil. The protein source here, we have the quinoa, we have the ahi tuna. And the carbohydrate is also quinoa, corn tortilla, and then I would consider cauliflower a carb. So it's a higher carb vegetable, but you know, and then anything green is always a really good go-to, okay? So everything's fresh. Oh, forgot, nuts. I also have the nuts on this too. That's the other healthy fat / protein source. So I hope this information was helpful. These are just things that I specifically look for when I'm going out. Do not be afraid to ask what's in the food you're eating. If you do have certain dietary restrictions and you're trying to just eat a really clean diet, look for a place that serves this kind of food. That's step one. If you can't avoid it, look on the menu for options that, you know, contain fresh ingredients, are, you know, nice and vibrant in color, and that you can tell like are made with olive oil instead of some sort of vegetable oil, something processed like that. You also notice there's no potatoes here. There's no French fries here. Okay, that's like a rule of thumb to just avoid that, especially if you're eating in the middle of the day, because it's going to make you crash, okay? It's going to make you super tired. If I got a burger, I would have gotten the bun off of it, and I would have also probably split everything in half. I'm eating with a friend, I'm splitting all of this, okay? But if a really good rule of thumb when you're going out to restaurants, I have a problem with this fly needs to get off of our food. I typically want to literally, if it's in front of me, I'm going to eat all of it. That's the reality of like how I eat. So what I'll do is I'll be like, hey, can you just please box half of it up all the way? Because being in the United States, the portions are absolutely absurd. And that's why there's so much obesity here. And it's something that I'm really passionate about, preventing people from having obesity and health problems later in life. And it really starts with, portion control and taking that initiative to get everything already boxed up. If you're someone who's a compulsive eater, like I definitely have these issues, so I just ask them to just immediately box things up for me so that I'm not tempted to eat that whole plate of food, because your stomach is actually really small, and it's more so we're eating with our brains and not with our stomach. So those are my tips for how to eat healthy when dining out. If you have any questions, you want me to answer anything else, post it below. I'm gonna get in on this because I'm hungry. But thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.